Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to the crypto live stream, I guess. It's been a little while. I don't really stream that often, but today I just really felt it was necessary because I really do believe a lot of people have no idea what's going to be happening to the XRP price tomorrow. I think a lot of people are wondering, and so with the video, I'm hoping that we can help out a couple of people. Try to just explain exactly what I think is going on and give a little bit of a look on some other coins I have been trading and why to once more hopefully help a couple of people. Again, it's not a certain thing, right? But we can just kind of speculate on what's been going around here. And yeah, we're going to really base everything for tomorrow up on that. First of all, though, everybody watching, welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure that you quickly put down below where you're watching from. I'm just interested. I mean, right now for me, it is 6:40 p.m. So, let me know where you guys are watching from right now. I already see a question. Is the court case tomorrow? Well, today we'll talk about all of that, exactly what I think is going to happen tomorrow. And you guys know I'm bullish on XRP price, right? But maybe not tomorrow. Well, you'll see. You'll see in just a second. So stay tuned. Just waiting for a couple of minutes here for some people to roll on in. And Luck says, Dusty, can you put slow chat mode on? It depends on how many people are in. Last time we had 18,000. Right now, I don't think we'll get more than 300 or 400. So I don't think it is necessary, but we will see. All right, see a lot of countries. Let's start it off. I think a couple of people are in already. Right, you guys are crazy. All right, starting it off, what is going to happen tomorrow in an easy sense? Well, tomorrow is what a lot of people have called the Pretrial conference, and basically everything that it refers to is tomorrow is officially the date that things could start. Now, why am I saying it that way? It's because it's not actually the start of the whole trial. It's not actually the first date of trial or anything like that. And what it actually is, I just watched the video once more by the basically, what is his name again? I'm not sure what the name is of this guy again, but the lawyer who always talks, or attorney, who talks about all these cases. And what he has also explained is, right now it is just a call between one attorney, I think it's somewhere at the start, basically, one attorney, here we can see it. Counsel for all parties, this is exactly the lawsuit. Counsel for all parties are directed to appear for an initial pre-trial conference in accordance with Rule 16 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure at 10 a.m. on February 22nd, 2021 to be held telephonically. Now, he has said again that this is a usual thing nowadays, but think about that. A lot of people were saying tomorrow is going to be a huge day for XRP because they're going to make a lot of progress, but it's basically just one guy on both sides of the telephone just saying something. The parties are directed to dial yada yada yada. That is interesting to me, but principal trial counsel must appear at this and all subsequent conferences. That's all not too relevant though. I also have to pick this one up because, well, what dates do matter? Again, that's really what he said somewhere right around here. Again, we'll talk about that in just a second, but let's talk a little bit first of all about what the expectation were versus what I am thinking. Here is a little bit of a deadline for discovery phase. That one is going to be really important for all of this, but let's start it off. So the expectation, as I had personally also said it, was that before the 22nd, basically, we would go up in price, which kind of did happen if you see the bigger picture. Now, this chart is a little bit clouded, but see through that for a little second. See it from exactly how it described it on February 1st when we did the last live stream, when we were saying exactly what the future scenarios were going to be. So let me quickly take you back to there. Right on February 1st, we said there's a good chance that the price from wherever it dumps to will most likely, again, find some support, which it did. We'll talk about that. And then go up, 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 most likely until about the 15th, most likely a day before, which was in hindsight, 1.5 day before, but all right. And then either continue to the 22nd or basically do nothing. And with do nothing, I more so meant that it's going to dump. Now, it actually didn't do exactly what I predicted. My prediction was that we either go to the 13th, then fall down, and then get another pump going to about the 20th, 21st. But here was actually sideways, which a little bit against my expectation, but hey, that's what you sometimes get in this space, right? You can't predict everything, and even I, with a lot of this stuff, am wrong, which definitely can happen. But So what happened here was basically, I believe in my video I called this scenario number 1, which was the most likely outcome, which meant we get a pump and dump going, and right after that we go accumulate again, but just before a realized date, and I'm doing my fingers in the bunny tails things, that the price would basically fall. So that's again right around this corner right here. It's the 13th, 14th kind of border, right? So why did this happen? Why did it dump right here? And why do I say that right now we can actually keep going up for a little bit? That's mostly because right here on the 15th, we had an expectation of a real event. A lot of people were notified that the 15th was going to be a big day, that the 15th was going to be something really unimaginable. However, in hindsight, that was actually already somewhere around the 27th or so that Ripple posted their documents basically. So we were waiting for that on the 15th, but once that day rolled out, obviously there was nothing really coming. There wasn't really a big day. There wasn't really anything. So obviously the price fell down. Right down to the 22nd though, we weren't actually waiting for a physical thing. We were just thinking, okay, everything's going to start at that date. I hope that not too many people thought that the 22nd would be the end of all things, or the end of the lawsuit at that, because that's definitely not happening. But it's I guess the start of a bigger picture. It's the pretrial. So it's not even the official start of the real thing. It's the start of the start. You guys feeling me with that? It's like the start of everything, in like the basics. So the reason why I'm saying that we can actually keep going up from right here is, first of all, because there's actually quite a strong support. We've seen that now with XRP falling from about 75 cents to right around 33, 34. To me, it was interesting that it didn't fall down to about 17 cents or so, which we saw a little bit prior to that, because you would kind of think, okay, Ripple got sued right here. They fell all the way to the ground to about 17, which, by the way, this exact point here was one of the most bullish things we could have ever seen for XRP. This exactly right here means that so many people wanted to have XRP, because if you think about it, if everybody believed Ripple was going to lose this lawsuit, or people were like, oh, I'm too afraid, then the price would have definitely gone to zero. The price would have definitely gone to zero, because if you think it's going to lose the lawsuit, you're not going to buy this stupid coin, right? Again, I'm just kind of exaggerating here by calling it stupid, but that's again in somebody's mind who thinks that they're not going to win the lawsuit. But again, it got supported by at 17 cents, which is still ridiculously high in my opinion if you just compare it to where we were at a couple of years ago. This is still a pretty big gain, and it's actually still above my average price. Fun little fact. But again, right now we fell back down to 34 cents, which basically meant if you kind of take a good look at it, I would say that all that did happen was we went from this point right here, our 17-cent basis, to about ×2, which is again 34 cents after the pump and dump, because of the news that came out on about the 27th, which was Ripple's report basically that they could have gotten on the 15th. They got it a little bit early. That report basically made the price double. Again, we did a pump and dump little situation. This I'm going to almost ignore, as it's all irrational in my opinion. It's all not rational. And if you just ignore this little part of things, what you get basically is a move from 17 to 34 cents just because of one document by Ripple, which once more is a very bullish thing. Now, why did the price continue? You might say that this is all actually still a continuation of that move. You might say that this is all because of what happened right here when Ripple announced their document, which should have happened on the 15th. As if you take a good look, well, you can see the line that's been formed, right? After Ripple stated something, we literally just saw one upward sloping line. Until about the 15th, when it really should have occurred, basically, that's when things start to fall off. But hold it right there. If things were to really fall off and all people were just excited for this little document, the price should have fallen quite a significant bit more. The price right now was supported, in my opinion, basically at around 50 cents per coin. You see, we have two little outliers here at about 47.4 and about 48, but basically we got some very strong support at 50 cents, which is once more another big, increase from this 34-cent dip that we saw before. Again, we first went from 17 to about 34. Let's say there's about 100% gains. And then we went from 34 to right around 50 cents, which is another 40% gain, or from the start, it is about ×3. As you can see here, about 200% actually since we saw the bottom from the Ripple lawsuit. A lot of people right now are actually quite bullish on it. That's something you should keep in the back of your head. And even though you see a lot of people over on Twitter, and I personally see a lot of people over on YouTube too saying they're very negative on it, I don't think it actually suffices to say, oh no, it's actually a good thing to say that the price should be going down right now, or Ripple's not going to win this loss or anything like that. Tomorrow is the first day but we won't probably see anything. So logically speaking, the price should have gone down a little bit today, a little bit yesterday, and tomorrow even down more if we follow what happened here. But I'm already betting that people didn't put too much faith into this whole announcement of the 22nd, and it's more so these days that we're going to have to look out towards minus about 6 months or so. So basically what the lawyer guy had here was a couple of dates, because he also started a similar type of case here on February 15th, which is why you can compare these things, but minus 6 months. What you can see is, well, discovery deadline, March 7th, minus 6 months is about September. We actually have an official date for that, which is August 16th. And again, I recommend you guys to watch the official attorney type of videos because, hey, I'm not an attorney, not a financial advisor. I'm not a genius in that sense, right? All I can tell you guys is what I've noticed here from reading a lot about these lawsuits and knowing a little bit about these crypto history and crypto prices right now. So one very important day, as you can see right here, is the first pretrial conference, which again is a one-man thing. It's just one guy on both sides of the telephone. It is not a big thing. For the case, it's set to take place February 22nd. The letter added that both parties have agreed to August 16th, 2021 is the deadline for the discovery phase, during which they will assemble all evidence and argument. So as of this point, what we're kind of waiting for and what we're kind of having hopium for and what I'm excited about is this date right here, right? This is just one of the dates. And still, guys, you shouldn't get me wrong, right? I am extremely positive on the XRP price. Don't get me wrong. If you guys aren't, all good, but I am. And that's again why I like to cover this type of stuff, because it really points me towards a certain direction that I want to go towards. Let me kind of rephrase that. What I'm looking up here is not that I only want to find positive news, because if there's negative stuff, I will always tell you. But what I'm looking here and what I'm looking at is actually only positive stuff. Because if it was a whole pump and dump type of situation, we would have seen the XRP price dump quite significantly more. Some people say nothing positive is going to happen tomorrow. Most likely not. It is just what people attach to it. But as of this point, it shouldn't really be anything. What we should be excited for, what we should be waiting for, what we should be looking out for is this right here, all right? More towards August or September, that's again when things really start to kick off. Why? Well, at this date, what's going to happen is that's the end line. Again, it's not factual that that's going to be exactly when everything's going to go down. It can be earlier, but this is basically something you should keep in the back of your head. Because this is basically the end date where they can give all their evidence. And the reason why you shouldn't hope for a February 22nd settlement, February 22nd, is first of all because I don't think it can even happen just quite yet, but also because that would mean a couple of things. One, it will mean that Gary Gensler or anybody over there is just throwing the case out, right? It's not like they really went through proper things, they just threw it out. What we really want is them to go over it, look at the facts, which again, the deadline is about August 16th or somewhere around that corner. Look at the facts and then decide, hey, Ripple should win this. Or scenario number 2, which again cannot happen in the next couple of days here, is that I'm just also trying to watch the comments here, but some people are saying, we waiting again. What are you waiting for? You waiting for the what's going to happen tomorrow or what? Whatever. What we want is Gary Gensler or the whole authority there to change their mind, basically. It's dependable because you could already see it from a perspective where he was already always bullish on XRP. We've seen the papers from, I believe, MIT, or what was it now? The little talk right there. He considers XRP to be a cryptocurrency too. And again, that's really what we're waiting for here. That's what we're kind of going at. Otherwise, this is all kind of voided. So if you're wondering, because some people are saying, I don't understand. If you're wondering what's going to happen to the price tomorrow, it's most likely negative. Price tomorrow. There's no good reason why the price should be going up because there isn't anything big tomorrow. So the only thing you can take a look at is, for example, you go on an hourly, you go on a 30-minute, you go predict what's going to happen within a day, right? Or we're going to deduce it from what's happening to Bitcoin. And if altcoins pump by another 20%, XRP could follow suit. Yes, it can. As I do not think it's going to actually dump like crazy, because otherwise it would have most likely done so already. Again, we got picked up twice here, which isn't logical if the price is going to dump, because in the short term here, there's nothing really pushing XRP except for the fundamentals. According to the lawsuit, there's nothing really in this small sector. A lot of people, however, are really excited for Flare too. That's something a lot of people shouldn't forget either. Flare is also a game changer. And I have separate opinions on that. I'm spread with exactly what is good and what is bad. And it's not nothing will happen, guys. It's not nothing, but you should understand, it is only what we, us guys here, attach to it. I personally am saying there's nothing big happening tomorrow in terms of news or anything like that, so the price could only really fall down if we're talking about news specifically. But it could be that people right now already want to buy in, for example, for dates like this in the future, basically, because they know now that if there's nothing bad happening, nothing positive happening, but also nothing bad happening, that is basically just XRP like previous times, where the whole threat of a lawsuit was here forever, right? We all knew XRP was always at threat of being sued. So if you bought XRP like me in 2017 or whatever, you always knew that they could get sued at any one point. You bought it with the idea that it is a cryptocurrency that might still get some issues. So I really find it particularly funny that some people are saying, oh, Ripple got sued, it's all over. Those guys, in my humble opinion, are dumbasses. If you're thinking now, after holding it for a couple of years, that XRP isn't going anywhere, it's kind of like throwing away your lottery ticket just before the big lottery happens. Because what is my own plan with buying XRP? Well, I personally already have a good stash, so I'm more so thinking about the trade stash rather than purchasing. However, I do think for a little bit of longer term, I'm going to buy a little bit, and I'm talking a couple weeks, before every important date. And that is most likely because, again, according to the video, there's a couple of dates here which are important. There's a couple of things which can happen at any one of these. And yeah, you should really be prepared for a positive result coming out of one of those. If a positive result happens, like we saw a couple of weeks ago when Ripple first gave their document, right here, yeah, the price will most likely pump. And again, the big question you should have in your head right now, which I have already answered for myself, is do you think anything positive will ever come again from this lawsuit? If so, I'm not going to say 100%, but there's almost a freaking 99.something% chance that the price will actually go up again from the point at which we are right now. However, are you wondering if we can go down? I would say 34 cents is basically a good baseline, and 64 cents is actually a very strong resistance. So from a certain perspective, we should say we're going to stay within this range right now until we see something happening that's quite big. Or you can actually put a little bit better. You can actually put, for example, this area at about 44 to about 47 as kind of a baseline. Again, if you look at the back end of things here a little bit, that's basically an area which we've touched many other times before in just the last couple of months, but we didn't really breach unless we got heavy breaches, like, for example, the whole lawsuit ordeal. Otherwise, we stayed relatively, nicely above that ever since we, quote unquote, pumped, at least crypto pumped, right? Another fun thing to understand is, again, that's my range for right now. If we see a breakout of about 64 cents, all bells are loose. This barrier has been so significant for the longest amount of time. Again, you can already see you can see multiple times that it's hit that. Right now, we just got one outlier here because of the whole pump and dump at 8:30 situation, because this was just around that time. This, I definitely do not count with anything, but all right. For right now, really, 64 cents is going to be the most important, and if we breach it, you're going to have to ask yourself, why are we doing that? Is it really because of the lawsuit, or is it because of something like Flare, for example, or something like just the fundamentals of XRP? Because once more, the fundamentals at least are worth 17 cents here, and this was with the expectation that Ripple was screwed, because people weren't that positive at this point. The positivity came only when Ripple gave that rebuttal, and once we understood that, at the worst, I believe, again, my opinion on this matter, at the worst, Ripple is just going to have to admit that Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen sold some and leave it at that. But XRP, in my opinion, is not going to be a security. I said it and I'll say it again. XRP, in my opinion, cannot be called a security as of this point. It is too decentralized. But again, people will always disagree on that. So let's move on with a couple other things. I had another XRP here. It was actually mostly just to show you guys how this little point of resistance here at 64 cents has actually come by quite a lot of times, and why I'm saying right now we should also be very much looking out for that. And again, I'm also building quite a lot of other ideas for you guys. Like, for example, we talked about my 1-inch trade from yesterday. That one worked out freaking properly. I'm very happy with that one, and lucky we got to share that. Again, my zone here worked out again a little bit, so that's a pretty cool one. And the 3 coins, I already announced it on Twitter a couple of hours ago that I bought yesterday. Ethereum still not in profit. Binance coin actually sold itself, I'm seeing now. So that sold it at about 14% profit, my magic number. And this one at about 7% profit, since I wasn't too sure about Cardano. We bought it twice, one entry right here at about 91 cents, and one after we got confirmation of a breach of the high, with another conforming candle afterwards. And again, I didn't actually have a stop loss. I actually put that one a little bit later, as I didn't really think that this point would be significant right here. And I didn't really want to sell ADA anyway. Same thing for this BNB buy. I just thought if it doesn't go up, it doesn't hit my take profit, I'm actually not going to sell it. I'll just keep it for the longer term, as I wasn't really interested in getting rid of BNB anyway, unless it was with profit. And that's one fun thing I want to tell you guys about XRP2. Do you guys know I have never sold any one XRP coin at a loss? Do you guys know what that is? Do you guys know what that is? Why I've never sold one XRP at a loss? It is always because I have the idea that if I don't make money on this coin, then what am I here for? I'm not going to sell it at a loss. I'm going either to the moon with this one or all the way freaking down. That's again the 50-50 that I'm going to put it at. There's no way around it. There's no freaking way around it. And I think a lot of you guys have that too. Where it's just like, hey, if we don't make money with it, well, okay, too bad. But that's also something I think a lot of these people cannot understand that just got into XRP, or who heard about XRP over on Twitter but are not really too familiar with it. They don't understand that a lot of us here are here to make it big, and we know the future for XRP. We know the project's built on that. We know Flare, for example. We know a lot of this type of stuff. And that's what's keeping us holding easily. You think I'm ever worried about my holdings? Guys, please. You think I'm worried about that? No. But be prepared for a little drop tomorrow. Be prepared for it. Again, a lot of people are just coming in right now and they're asking what's going to happen tomorrow. Kind of quick little recap here. There's a good chance that we might fall down a little bit tomorrow. We right now, just for the last couple of days, have stayed within a little range here of about a bottom, I'm going to say at the 0.5 fib from this last move, at about 50 cents to about 64 is a little bit too high. So again, the top we hit twice here is about 58 cents or so. Usually 59 was one of my areas to look out for. That's again a couple months ago when we did live streams more often. 59 cents was a really significant barrier. Right now, it's a little bit lower, about 58.5. Maybe a lot of people saw that 59 as an important point, so a lot of people are selling just a little bit before that. Might be what's happening. But yeah, that's a little bit of the zone we're in right now. Good chance we just trade sideways for a little ways until something significant happens, or actually a small little downfall. But again, also to tell people, I don't think conspiracy, anything like that, but I do think the XRP price is being manipulated. I've talked about that in multiple videos, albeit Ripple, albeit big institutions, albeit whoever. It is being manipulated right now because moves like this, in my opinion, still are so odd. And even if you take a good look at this right here, it's really strange that there's 200,000 people coming together, yet if you really start to add up the money, all these guys in the XRP pump groups, they didn't actually have that much money. What we're seeing here, this volume, is so ridiculously significant. People are not understanding that this is not a normal move. I either think that this was done deliberately in some way, shape, or form, not again by the XRP pump dump group, but just somewhere else something happening. Not exactly sure who or what caused it, but again, it's something, because you got to think that a couple of us, even though there's 200,000, a couple of us cannot do cannot do it like that. Come on. You got to understand, they can't just pump a coin like this. So, yeah, I just think we should really disregard it all. All of this we should just disregard. Maybe this point we can kind of keep because it's just one little high. But I think from the point of forward where Ripple made their announcements that were basically just, this is again, not something you should attach value to this line here. It's just basically to show you guys the channel, which we've kind of made after Ripple made their announcement. This is basically what happened. Right after Ripple announced something, boom, price shot upwards. This little pump it up, we disregard. This is what's happening. And right now, since we got to the 15th, where the whole thing should actually materialize, is when we're trading sideways, not dipping, trading sideways, literally, because we went again to this bigger resistance point, got rejected, fell back down. If we were to really fall down to a good support, it would have either been right around the 44-cent mark or again 34. We didn't though. We actually picked back up twice at around 40 something, 45 or 49-ish cents. Meaning to me, things are still looking good. I don't expect a big XRP pump in the near future unless you're one of those guys right now going around that actually think that these cryptos are all going to be falling like crazy. I see some people saying Bitcoin is going to go minus 40%, 30% or so because it used to do that in different runs. One thing you should understand is that this is not the same as any other crypto run you've seen. Not at all. And so that prediction is a little bit outdated, but can work. It's just not as safe of a bet rather than saying, hey, let's take the bet on riding the crypto wave, in my opinion, once more. As what happened previous times is, at one point or another, people really thought that crypto was a bubble. So I don't have a good Bitcoin thing open right now, so I can't really show you too much about that. But at a lot of these points, we can actually pick up the chart here and take a good look at that. At a lot of these points, people thought, you know what, Bitcoin is actually a bubble. And if you take a good look at this right here, there's a lot of instances in this little time frame here, but that's also the first time that we really hit some real money. Right here, there's a lot of times, for example, below 40,000 or even 20,000 for that matter, a lot of other points where we had some issues of, oh, isn't Bitcoin really a bubble? Isn't Bitcoin really going to go down? Isn't Bitcoin this, that, this, that, this, that? We see that. We observe, we see, we notice. The only thing is, right now, Tesla's bought. Most billionaire CEOs are changing their mind. A ton of companies are entering the space. A ton of use cases are being added. And even though I personally don't believe that Bitcoin will be the only currency at the top for the rest of our lives, basically, I do think that if an altcoin ever were to flip Bitcoin, that Bitcoin would really fall to the ground. Because even though it's the oldest, it doesn't mean that the oldest always wins, all right? It's not that way. The oldest mostly wins until one gets more popular. And that's, I think, what's going to happen in due time. So that's a little bit of that. But the reason why I don't think a 40% fall is really around the corner here is that would mean Bitcoin dominance going down like crazy once more, all right? It's already kind of, I guess piece by piece going down again because of the all run, but it's really quite the same. It only dropped 2% in the last month or so, which means Bitcoin is gaining a little bit less than altcoins are, okay, but not really significantly. It's basically going sideways. And to me, what it just shows is people are really excited about all of this, but also very much Bitcoin. They just want to have it, most likely for the longer term. And I think this momentum will continue since we breached 1 trillion. We're staying above there. And so, yeah, really falling to the ground or going minus 40% would mean they're taking money out of this one to either take profit or just to take it out to put into altcoins. But why? What for? Why would they do that right now? Why would they go about it when Tesla just bought it, when a lot of other companies have just bought it, and a ton of other companies are just now starting to get positive on it? It just wouldn't make sense that a lot of others are going to cash out at this point. At least to me, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like counterintuitive. But let me know, where are you guys from? Where are you guys watching from? I asked at the beginning, see a couple of you guys, I see the Netherlands here, I see Belgium. What other countries? Sweden, India's in the house by Chi-Town XRP. Let me know where you guys are from. Tethered case. No, that's not a country. Okay. I'm not seeing any countries right now. Maybe the chat is a little bit backed. That's a little bit behind. Could be. Let me do a little bit of a test. Do you see this right now? Just comment yes if you see it. And I'll time it here for a little second because I think we're like 30 seconds or so behind. A little bit annoying, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter too much. It's all good. It's all good. Oh man, you guys are crazy. The chat is going wild. You guys are nuts. Oh damn. Also, if you could, you don't have to, okay? You don't have to. If you could, I would really appreciate it if you press the like button, as I do think it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Again, you don't have to, but I do think it helps. So if we want to help the video perform a little bit better, or the live stream maybe, more people, more joy, right? At least that's the way I see it with these live streams. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Again, the lawyer, I'm personally subscribed. And I don't have to with a lot of people, mostly because, yeah, I like the updates, and I'm not an attorney or lawyer in that sense, so I like to hear from his mouth, basically. Here was one article I saw, Ripple price analysis for February 15th to 21. The coin could remain stuck in a tight range next week. I didn't even read this one just quite yet because I guess I forgot, but it's basically our idea too, right? I guess it's basically our idea too. Yeah, I think it follows along with our analysis here. We're going sideways for a little while. I'm not going to show that one too much because I kind of forgot. Japanese giant SBI Holdings plans to form joint cryptocurrency venture. I had a couple of ideas first that this could have something to do with Ripple, where it's not, SBI Holdings themselves who are building something for themselves, but they're building something basically for their already partnership with Ripple in some way, shape, or form. But again, it's a little bit of a difficult one because, there's no real hints except for the fact that, again, SBI Holdings, the CEO is in the board of Ripple, and they have a joint venture already. But that doesn't mean that any joint venture that they make right now is XRP/Ripple have it in the back of their heads, right? It doesn't really say much. By the way, a little fun story, Bidyard, I actually have been holding my DOT that we bought a couple of weeks ago on the I don't know if we bought it on I think we bought it on the live stream, right? I'm still holding that, and we're up times 4.6. So we bought $1,000 worth of DOT either on a live stream or I bought it a little bit before that. I'm not quite sure. We bought exactly $1,000 worth of DOT back then. Look at where it's at right now, guys. That's crazy, huh? It's just a couple of weeks. Win times 4.5. That's pretty funny. In just the shortest amount of time, by the way. Yeah, that's really... So that's why I also always take you guys' thoughts about these crypto. Just because I'm, hoping that at least one of yours is going to be a freaking good bet. And even though Polkadot I've known for a little while, if it wasn't for you guys all saying, buy Polkadot, I probably would have only bought a little bit, and now I bought it on multiple places, right? And you saw me put in $1,000. It already went times 4.5 in just the shortest amount of time. So really happy with that. Let's see what else I got. Ethereum killer Polkadot. I had a little bit of a Polkadot backstory, and the fact that I really, to a certain degree, think that a lot of coins will actually flip Ethereum because of their capabilities. For example, Cardano could be doing it. I have that one open. Or Polkadot with the parachains. It could, and that's the fun part. I don't think any coin can really match XRP right now, except for Flare in a couple ways. But I see Susie here sent $20. That's really nice of you. Really appreciate your content. Thank you, Dusty. Well, thank you for the donation. You didn't have to do that. Okay, so Jason says 6 cents for the shit coin. Fun fact. If XRP really goes to 6 cents, it'll most likely be a bigger event than the whole lawsuit itself. Do you guys understand why? Intuitively, why XRP hitting 6 cents would be bigger than the entire lawsuit surrounding it. That is because, once more, it can only happen if the lawsuit is negative. If the lawsuit comes out and Ripple is just really put into the ground and it's only shown now that Ripple has scammed everybody deliberately, or the documents right now that's again in this phase, basically where they have until August 16th, if in that phase some evidence pops up that Ripple is just the most giant douchebags, they've been dumping on us, they're trying to scam us like crazy, yeah, that's again where you're going to see XRP 6 cents. Otherwise, I don't really think there's any reason why it should fall to 6 cents, because the whole lawsuit, dude, this is really the most bearish thing you could have ever heard, even though it was expected, and that was supported by 17 cents. So by the way, if you're asking me where I'm buying, I'm always comfortable buying XRP under 50 cents. Live stream, guys, during the 1st of February, I think 1st of February we bought at 52 cents and once more at about 57, something like that. I believe we're actually break even on that. I can look it up for you guys, but I believe we are actually break even because I think we put in $1,000 at 8:30 exactly because you guys said you'd have some extra respect if I were to do that. So I did. And I believe right now we're actually at a break even for the 2 purchases we did back then. And by the way, Flare, even though I said before that I'm not really a supporter of Flare too much, mostly on the idea that, yeah, Flare has a couple of bad sides, like for example, the token distribution. If you take a good look at Ripple, the token distribution is pretty stupid too. And still I'm supporting it like crazy because of the ideology or the idea of what they're building. Even though the initial distribution is stupid, but maybe I cannot justify it with Ripple because they've been so old. Because Ripple has been here for so many years that it's a little bit easier to just stick with it, For Flare, it's so new, it's being built right now. It's a little bit harder. By the way, that tweet, which I was referring to just now, is this one right here. This is the distribution of Ripple, and the fun fact is that Flare basically takes this little area. It's a little bit difficult, but they take about this little area, and that's what they gave us. And this area is basically for Flare to keep themselves. There's a couple discrepancies there because accounts with more than 1 billion have been limited to a maximum 1 billion, and the big guys, some of them could actually not participate, for example, Jem McCaleb. But still the idea is there that it's a little bit of a skewed distribution. It's a little bit stupid. Again, that's only my own opinion. Yet, yeah, one thing you should all understand about Flare is it will most likely crash immensely. Freaking-mensely. I don't even want to call it out because I think people don't like it when I say it like that. You're like, oh, Dusty, talk about bullish things. Be honest with yourself, right? We're not here to talk only bullish about things. We're here to make real money, to talk about real cryptos and their projects, advancements, and whatnot. And I think Flare is going to get huge. But think for a little second. Flare right now, I don't know how much it is. Freaking 70 cents per coin. It could be. It could really be per token. Do you really think that would do the same once it gets unloaded on Binance and Coinbase and whatnot? Of course not. Bitrue and geodas are right now the only two places which have issued IOUs on their exchange for the Flare token. Not an official token, but an idea of some Flare that's going to happen in the future. Again, mainnet is not even live. It will come live in a couple of months, but it's not even there just quite yet. So right now being 70 cents or something like that doesn't mean that once all these big holders, and I don't want to say, not to be racist or anything, but a lot of these Chinese holders, for example, they don't even know what XRP is. A lot of them have it, and I know a couple, that's why I'm putting it like that. Some of these guys have a huge amount of XRP, all right? You look at that and you'll be like, oh, that's a real holder right there. My $100,000, my $5 million, that's nothing compared to some of these big guys. And once they get flared, the first thing they're doing is trying to see a way to get rid of it to get themselves more trading capital. Because they don't care about the coin. They don't look at the fundamentals. We do, you and I. But somebody says Chinese isn't a race, it's a nationality. I was just trying to say, and I'm not trying to mean anything with that type of stuff. Because people in the comment section are sometimes too sensitive. I'm trying to always be a little bit careful with that type of stuff. But whatever, whatever. It has to be what it has to be. Somebody says check XRP to BTC. Do I have it on the side here? We do. What are you trying to say with that? That we recovered a little bit from that one? I don't think there's too much to be said about XRP to BTC as of this point, to be honest with you. Because what can you really say? What we notice is, all right, this was a little bit of a pump happening, like we saw with XRP USD. We fell back down all the way from February 13th, 14th, and it's actually a little bit of a clearer scenario to what's happening. Right? It's actually a little bit of a clearer scenario on XRP to BTC that what's happening right now is basically the 14th is people all selling in anticipation of the 15th, which they purchased most likely right around this time. Once more, we have the, can you call it elevated? Or just the positive trend, basically, but even a little bit more skewed on this one. It's not perfect, but it basically comes down to the same thing, right? We saw only an upwards trending thing until about the 15th hit, and then we fell back down. It's not perfect on how to draw this, but that's basically intuitively what's happening to this. Yeah, so the price falling down from the 15th on forward, since there's nothing really to materialize or look out for, except for, again, some dates far into the future. And I see a couple of you guys say in the comment section here, why are you trading the news? Or why are you purchasing a coin because of the news? You know how much profit you can make by trading the news? It's something really stupid to be ignorant to say you shouldn't trade the news like that. Fun little backstory. I told that to all of my friends. If you had Elon Musk and you made a bot, all right, we were talking about this everywhere. If you made a bot to trade every single motherfucking time that Elon Musk tweeted out Bitcoin or said something along the lines of Bitcoin or even tweeted in general about Dogecoin or whatever, and you bought either Bitcoin or Doge depending on what exactly he said, you bought it every single time with a freaking 20, 50 leverage. Who cares? You had a bot to do that. And you had your stop loss like 1% below. You're saying Elon is a joke. Hear me out. If you did that every single time, you would have probably been extremely wealthy right now. I'm saying wealthy because you could have literally taken your couple $1,000s to a huge house building amount of money. You shouldn't forget that type of stuff, that this can go rather quickly, and it actually does. By the way, if you're honestly thinking that the SEC is in the right to sue Ripple right here, I think you are either under the impression that Ripple really should be found guilty of a couple of things, which I might agree with. It just really depends on the history of things, though. Or you just don't want to see them succeed for one way, shape, or form. Because as of this point, guys, so many people have said, again, even though she's on Ripple's payroll, so many people have said, this whole lawsuit doesn't make any sense. Why do it this way? Because I wanted to say it at the beginning of the video as well. I do believe that Gary Gensler can still come out in the next couple of months with a new verdict, new statement, new something along those lines, where you basically say, let's not do it via this lawsuit. Let's just do it in a humane, talking type of manner. Let's figure out exactly how we should classify XRP, but not allege it to be a security. And the reason I'm saying that is because I actually personally believe that Gary Gensler, or most new guys in the SEC that came after Jay Clayton, also know that it doesn't make any sense for them to be persecuted this way. It just isn't logical in any way, shape, or form. So doing this is really against what they all stand for, to make it better for the investor. So, in my opinion, it's pretty stupid. But that's, again, my opinion on these matters. I'm actually a holder of a lot of crypto. I always think people should diversify, and I'll always Tell you guys to diversify your crypto portfolios too. This is not financial advice. You may do as you please, but I've seen it with so many guys that they hold only one coin and they get burned in the end. Please don't be that type of guy. Just hold a couple, be happy with that, because you'll most likely be good. If you just buy the if you buy the top here of everything, you're almost already good. What is the chance of going wrong with this? I just see it as so small. If you just buy the whole top, a lot of these coins just have a huge profit potential on them. Even though some will fail, definitely, your profit really outweighs the loss. Yeah, really. Okay, so put down in the comments right now, or in that little box, what's your favorite coin? And don't pick XRP, or maybe you can, whatever. What's your favorite coin right now? A lot of people in the comments here are even hating on XRP. So then what is your favorite? For me, it's hard to say if I have a real favorite. I would say XRP is my biggest gem in terms of profit potential over a medium term. A medium term in this case being about 1 year. That's also taking into consideration how high we have to go to all-time high, and what the pro is basically to the con in terms of, well, XRP has the losses going for them. If they win it, we get some huge price surge. And if we lose it, which I think is impossible, well, the price will go down, but we'll see accordingly. And either, just hold through to the end. But the profit of, let's say, times 11 outweighs any loss. Let me explain that in a almost no probability type of way. So if you have a very high chance, let's go to the XRP Binance chart, actually. I only have one hand right now, but all right, let's do it. I pressed XRP to BTC, XPUSDT. If you have a very good chance, right? This is a little bit of intuition. If you have a very good chance that your XRP price is going to go by times, for example, 11, let's go to a daily chart here. And that chance is, for example, 50% that you go times 11. And the other type of scenario is, for example, 50% again, that you go to about 1 cent or zero, basically. So either a full loss of capital or times 11. If you kind of think about that logically, your upside is way bigger than your downside. Because the amount of money that you have to gain at a 50% cost is so much more. You should basically see it as gambling. You have a 50-50 chance to either win times 11, let's say times 10 your money back. Let's say it's black and red, right? So black means XRP or Ripple basically wins this lawsuit. Red means they lose. If you bet on black, you have a 11 times return if they win. And I mean, if you bet on red too, it will have the same thing. But basically, if it is black, again, you get times 11. If it's red, you get 0 basically. So you lose your money. If in a roulette thing, you could have that bet. Don't you think it's also a really amazing one? And I know it will not average out, it's only a one-time thing, but still, that's a little bit of an intuition behind it. Why? The bets here in crypto are just ridiculously good. Because the probability of winning, and in this XRP case specifically, the probability of winning is ridiculously high, and the fact as to how much money it can make is even higher than that. So yeah, that's why I'm betting on it personally. That's why I have my money where my mouth is. Yeah. I'm sticking with it, guys. If I'm selling, you'll be the first to know. If I'm selling all my XRP, I'll let you know. There's still a chance we'll dump tomorrow, but it doesn't really matter to me because the upside is better than the downside, and it will only matter if you have a very small amount of holdings or you're looking for a better entry. But if you're looking for a better entry or you want to quickly take some money out to buy it back cheaper, you shouldn't be watching me. You should be learning how to trade right now. Do it all for yourself. Because what we can do only is take a good look at the news, take a good look at the anticipation, and a little bit of the technical analysis, and then deduce what is the most likely outcome. But honestly speaking, XRP could almost never really go to 0, as there will always be demand. 17 cents was already a good example of demand already, even though they were being sued for a pretty heavy thing. And you'll find a similar demand at one point or another, because Ripple would literally just move outside the US, build everything up anew. And even though we might have to exclude US from joining all of this, yeah, we'll at least find a bottom somewhere. Let's say it's going to be 6 cents, whatever. We'll find a bottom somewhere where people just cannot let it go. Because even I, honestly, I would personally keep buying if Ripple loses the lawsuit. Doesn't it sound stupid? It kind of does. You know why that is? It's because I really believe in the vision from Ripple/XRP. But yeah, SSNN says, live stream tomorrow so we can see XRP dump or hold. You know, that's a very stupid idea. I've just said in this video right now, I don't think too much is going to happen tomorrow. If anything, it's either going to be a small pump purely on something which has nothing to do with the lawsuit, or logically speaking, a small teeny weeny dump. But that should have already happened today, though. It should have already dumped if it was really going to. If it's going to dump tomorrow, you bet your ass it's manipulation. Because that stuff isn't logical price movement. That is going to be manipulation to the finest. Understand that. Can I actually get my chart back if I keep pressing this? Because I drew a couple of things in there, but I think I lost it by going to XRP to BTC now. Oh yeah, we can get it back. Oh no, wait, let me keep pressing. I think we can get the chart back then. There we go. Our little small teeny weeny chart here. Otherwise, I was gonna have to draw it again. Okay, so Duke asks, what if Ripple lose the lawsuit? What's gonna happen is Ripple is going to move overseas, or at least outside of the US. They'll build everything up by excluding the US. It's only annoying for US. But again, that's a small part in remittance's sake of the world. So is it a bad thing? Yes, because it would definitely not be nice, especially considering that a lot of countries will look at the US's verdict and base their verdict on top of that. But if Ripple was really afraid of losing the lawsuit, they probably would have taken different actions. So I'm quite sure they'll lose on a couple accounts, as there's 570, but they'll win on the majority that matter. For example, the only one that really matters is XRP a security as of this point? So if Ripple was issuing sort of unregistered securities in the past, whatever, all right? If they have to pay a fine for that, I don't care. Let them pay. Let Ripple burn for a little while. I don't give a shit. Is XRP a security right now? If that one is the one they lose upon, we're going to have a little bit of a problem, as the price will dump significantly, yes, and then we'll have to move and then build up from there. They can move to Japan, Dubai. We don't know exactly where they'll move to. I'm thinking Japan, though, as they already got the joint venture with SBI over there, and they got their ties because Japan has already proven that they are happy to accept XRP. Let me see. Some people are also saying, hold. Okay, so that was Justin. He says, hold XRP. Heart, do not let go. You will regret it. I'm not saying you should actually hold or you'll regret, because there's definitely other potentials out there too where you can actually make more money. But I just personally think the upside is way higher than the downside. Once more, I think the maximum, or sorry, I should say minimum price it would ever get to again is, for example, going to be 3 cents, maybe 6 cents or so, where people will inevitably just pick it up. They will. People will always have demand for XRP. If you have that in the back of your head, the only thing you're kind of thinking about is here, okay, so am I going to lose all my money? Again, think about the roulette. You bet on black, you have a chance of going times 11 or times 0. In a normal roulette, you have times 2 or times 0. This is times 11 or times 0. Your odds of really winning money here are significantly higher. So even if you think it's garbage, think about the probability of actually making money here, or at least having a positive net result here. It's ridiculously high. And that's the same thing for a lot of these cryptos, but XRP has the best one because, yeah, if we have to look for Bitcoin here, is it really times 10 or times 11? No. And can it go to 0? Well, I don't really think so in the short term, but it could. Same thing for Ethereum. There's a lot of things like Binance Smart Chain or Polkadot's parachains or Cardano's whole network here that's trying to break Ethereum down. There's a lot of competition. And yeah, there is a chance that at one point or another it's going to be flipped because they're, pretty high gas fees, and Ethereum 2.0 is pretty far out. So it could be flipped. It can definitely happen. So what's the upside then? Well, $20,000 in my opinion for Ethereum is also not that crazy. But then if I'm thinking $20,000 per Ethereum, I'm not thinking that medium short term here 1 year. All right, we're definitely a little bit longer than that. So then I would have to adjust my XRP price prediction too to match that, which would be definitely higher than a times 11. I just basically put a times 10 times 11 as a baseline for where I think the XRP price could go. But this isn't financial advice. This is not something that's necessarily going to happen. This is just my idea with that and where I would definitely start to think about another following plan. I see somebody say, Surprise Watriff says, XRP SEC lawsuit date, the SEC aims to file a first amended complaint by February 19th. With the discovery period now set to be complete by August 16th, set the letter. We saw that, right? We talked about the amended letter already. We talked about everything in that. It was a pretty sudden shift, but it actually was only good stuff. The only thing that they really prevented is for the case to be thrown out. So, yeah, in the end, is that negative that the SEC came out with an amended? No. it's actually a really positive thing. What would have happened if the case was thrown out? Well, you'd basically have a no verdict. The only positive thing then, if the case was thrown out, could be that Gary Gensler, for example, or the SEC could come up and say, hey, I'm going to say Dusty. Hey, Ripple, we don't have to go to court to suit this or to settle this. We can actually settle this another way, and they'd have to come up with one, which has happened before, and it can happen. Right now, though, we know for certain that Ripple, regardless of whatever they want, is going to get a verdict, albeit positive, albeit negative, because Ripple doesn't want to guess settle. We've seen that in every lawyer video. We've seen it in every one of my videos here. Ripple doesn't want to guess settle because that basically leaves them nothing in terms of fundamentals. We are building XRP on the fundamentals that it's not a security. If it's a guess settle of, oh, okay, you know what? We think XRP is not a security, but it could be. This could always hunt them in the back end, and we will not have the official certainty for the rest of the time. We'll just have a temporary little, happiness wave, but that doesn't, do it. At least for me, it doesn't, and I think for most people, it doesn't. I also hope, to a certain degree, that Ripple is going to be kind of the new standard, which is basically going to be the new test for things. There's a good chance that it would. But also, if you have your money on an exchange right now where you cannot cash it out, you can always move it around, you know that? And if you're from the US, I can't say I'm encouraging it, but if you go down below in the description, there's a link to a VPN, or go to any other VPN for that matter, but be safe with them. If you use a VPN, and you always use it when you log in, you can actually use European or whatever freaking exchanges too. Binance, for example, Binance in Europe or the rest of the world except for the US, you don't actually need to verify your ID. All you need is a VPN, if you're from the US, to trade on there, and you can do everything. All right, you just have to deposit crypto and take crypto out. You cannot do fiat, but hey, I think a lot of the guys that are wanting about this actually don't care about that because they already have XRP or already have some crypto. Let me drink. Hey guys, if you're watching right now, take a little sip of water or go to your kitchen, grab a little some, hydrate yourself. All right? I have a bottle here. I always have that next to their desk here to make sure I don't forget. Otherwise, we're talking for like an hour. I'm just, dying inside. Shouldn't have that. All right, so go grab yourself some water. Mauricio Treviso said, "Hi Dusty, you said XRP could dump tomorrow. Why?" Right. Do you guys want me to explain it once more? Just one small more time, and then we'll end it with the whole talk of why it might dump tomorrow. Even though I haven't said it might really dump, listen, all right? I'm going to tell you once more. Once more last time, for everybody who's already seen it now, who's already been here for the whole time, for the whole stream. What happened was, okay, I'll explain it in the easiest way, I think. Okay, we got sued. Ripple got sued. Positive thing, yet short-term negative thing for the price, as we saw the price fall all the way towards 17 cents right here. This was unexpected, as people thought it would only go lower and lower and lower and lower. However, it got supported at 17 cents, which means even though Ripple's in the worst of the worst conditions, people will still want to pick it up, which we saw right there. We went back upwards, okay? This is just normal market behavior, not really much to it. This is just either you can call it manipulation or something like that. It wasn't really too much. This is just normal market movement, as there wasn't really anything happening. This is most likely just because this is kind of a baseline that was formed, and then crypto started to pop off, and people just wanted to have XRP2 for a potential verdict that could happen in the future. Then right around this area here is when Ripple put up their first document, which was supposedly actually going to come out February 15th. So at this point, February 15th, we were excited to get this document, which we already got a couple days earlier. So what happened was people bought XRP because of that document that came out. Again, this was a positive document for Ripple/XRP, plus because of the whole pump and dump XRP group, that kind of had a little bit of a bonus to it. But the pump and dump group also added some pressure on the positive document from Ripple. So it's basically a plus, which got the price pumping. In this channel, it basically got it pumping up until the day, as you can see right here, the 15th really materialized. Because since that day materialized, people understood the document, we already got a couple days prior. So right here, there's not really anything happening anymore. So I'm going to sell. Or in a different degree, people who've held since Ripple actually got sued and bought the bottom are actually up 200% since that point. Or even at that point, 270% up. So it's logical that they sell. Now, you might be wondering, Dusty, why did they sell there? Why did it turn around? This is, again, in my opinion, normal market behavior, as we had here our first significant, right? You might call 50 cents, but that was all already kind of crossing the whole pump and dump ordeal. This is basically the baseline of things, which was already crossed. we had our first significant resistance at right around 64 cents. We've had that one multiple times in the past, a ton of times. If you check here, you'll see it a little bit more often even. Just how many times we've hit that before for significant resistance, and so it fell back down from here. Logical, right? Because you'll retest the bottom, and since there wasn't really a level that was supported, you might say, Dusty, we got supported here. Well, yeah, that's again where we ended up being, since we didn't really have a close support or really another incentive for the push to continue on. That's where we fell back down, and that's really at which we are at right now. Then I told you guys on 1st of February, we have a good chance that we're going to gain until 15th or a day before that, which again, in hindsight, was a half a day even before that too. Same thing, I also told you guys about this pump and dump ordeal here, that there was a good chance that we'd actually fall exactly at the same time. That type of stuff was luckily correct. There's always multiple things that can happen, right? But again, you're talking about the most likely one. For right now, I'm saying most likely, according to logic, which isn't always the case here. It could definitely be just pure manipulation, but logic would say that we had a good support here at about 50 around, okay? Not a perfect thing, but around 50 cents. So since we got some support at 50 cents, and there's really no incentive for the price to either go past about 64 or go below 34, well, since we're really, again, in the last couple of days trading within this range, there's no real one incentive as to why we should go outside of this range. So saying it's going to dump is, in my opinion, quite wrong, because it's basically, following logic, going to trade in this range here or go down a little bit, but that again should have happened today. To elaborate on that, the price should have, from the 15th on forward, pumped again, because the 22nd is another one of these dates, which is exciting. Now, we all in the community know that the 22nd wasn't really too much. It really wasn't anything big, so the price shouldn't actually pump in the meantime. However, sometimes things do, though, because people anticipate some moves. So what should have happened was the price should have either went up. You might actually argue that it went up from the dip that it made the 15th, because to a certain degree, it already went up again 20%, but I don't really consider that to be true. I consider that we hit about a big resistance, fell back down, hit another, I guess, new support, or basically old support. We stayed around that area, and now we're testing the top again. We're not getting past that, so we have a channel going sideways for a little while. And tomorrow, most likely not going to be the biggest of days, most likely just continuing on with this trend. And if we break out to either side, there's something bigger going on. And I'm not talking about one little instance of an outlier here, like for example, this right here. If you're seeing an outlier, it doesn't actually mean that the whole move here has been invalidated or anything like that. This is just, okay, we've fallen back down once, could have been one big transaction, could have been one big sell, doesn't really matter to me. It's about the bigger picture of this, which right now is going sideways. Otherwise, we should have most likely already gone down lower, but right now it's not showing any sign of that. Logically speaking, the 22nd is the big day, so the day before that, people should sell. Why would anybody... I'm shaking my head right now. Why would anybody in their right mind sell the day itself? Of course, you're going to sell, if you want to, a day up front. So why should it dump tomorrow? That isn't logical. It could, however, because people act illogically very often. However, highest scenario, most likely scenario, is it's just going to follow alts with a little bit of a lackluster performance. But then again, XRP, you've seen it before, I have seen it before. Very often what they do is when all these altcoins, like what's happening right now, are going boom, 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 and XRP stays behind, is when they catch up and go rally like crazy. You're seeing right in front of you. All these coins are up like crazy. All of them. Except for XRP. So that could mean that we're going to see another 2017-18 bull run spirit with XRP again. Because this already here, we have to check out XRP to BTC. I guess we should do XRP versus altcoins, but I don't have anyone open for that right now. So what you should basically look up is XRP in kind of a comparison to all the other altcoins. What you're seeing is a ton of the altcoins around, let's see here, around this area started to pump like crazy. But XRP was standing behind. So even though Ethereum, let's see when Ethereum made an all-time high. To put a little bit of a comparison on all of this, let's quickly go check. So Bitcoin, we all know when that all-time high was. For Ethereum, it was right here, the 14th of January. Okay, let's go for any other altcoin actually. I should maybe look at some bigger altcoins because I believe XRP actually flipped Ethereum back then, so that's not a good example to give. However, yeah, since XRP was the second back then, it's also getting a little bit difficult because, well, some might even argue that it wasn't really an altcoin anymore back then. It was really kind of becoming the main coin just because of how close they got to Bitcoin. Right, but let's take a look at maybe Litecoin, maybe for that matter. Maybe that one would work. Yeah, here again, the 19th of December was actually when this one made its all-time high, for example. And I'm assuming that a lot of other coins made an all-time high similar to right around that time. With XRP, of course, it was about the 4th of January, which basically means here that, let's see, what was the date now? It was the 19th of December. 19th of December is right around, let's see here, right around this area between these two. That meant there was another couple of weeks, basically, 2 weeks possibly, before XRP really hit its all-time high, which once more could translate to, all right, now, all these other coins are pumping up. And again, we should exclude Ethereum because they move also pretty crazily. And actually, we should, theoretically speaking, remove all coins that are above XRP as of this point. But all right, let's include those except for Ethereum. That XRP is going to really outperform all of them in a real short amount of time here, which would not be because of its use. It would most likely not be because of the lawsuit. It would most likely not be anything along those lines. I think it would most likely be like it happened in 2017 because people just want to have XRP because of either hype or because they just want to have it. Same thing for a lot of these other projects where they're not really good in the core, but people just buy them anyway. How many people really know how Polkadot works? I'm going to say about 75% actually do not have any freaking clue, yet they buy it, yet they go for it. Same thing happens for a ton of these other altcoins. And XRP is a pretty cheap coin right now, 55 cents. It's something almost anybody knows. A fun little backstory, right? I went outside a couple days ago. I go outside every day, don't get me wrong. But I went outside and had a conversation with a banker. And maybe he's watching right now because I told him about the channel. But all right, maybe if you're watching, hey, how you doing? All right, I might exaggerate your story a little bit, but whatever. They won't know you're here. So they probably wouldn't hear you. So I talked to him, and we basically, so I had to explain a couple things to him at the start. And one of the things I told him was, yeah, I'm into crypto. And he said, all right, what do you think about XRP? Do you think it's going to win the lawsuit? And I told him, well, yeah, but is that the only coin you're into right now? And he said, yeah. And then a couple days later, this was, by the way, last week, right? A couple days later, I met another guy. And the first thing he asked me was, he said, Dusty, do you think Ripple's going to win this lawsuit? That's basically the first thing after we mentioned crypto that he asked. I told him, well, why are you asking that? He's like, well, yeah, I hold XRP, bro. I'm like, oh, so what do you know about it then? He's like, nah, some friend of mine, he holds XRP. He told me to buy it. I was like, yeah, sure, man. I'm like, well, so you have no idea what it does? He's like, no freaking clue. And that's what you see all the freaking time. These guys, they go for the hype. They believe in the hype. They go for it. They go for it like crazy. And I always tell them, well, it's really a difficult one for me to indulge in this. Is that the right word for it? To get into it right now, to talk with you about this, because even though I might like it for the fundamentals, I can't really tell you that you should buy or sell or what's going to happen right now because we're all completely different wavelengths. And I like that about you guys in the comment section. You guys know what's up with XRP because you watch my videos, for example, but also because I'm noticing you guys check all this stuff out. You guys are reading into crypto. You guys know the backstory of it. A lot of these guys, they have no freaking clue. They have no freaking clue to just buy whatever seems kind of nice to them. And even though you can't do that sometimes, you can. It shouldn't be your main thing. It shouldn't be the one thing you should go for. Because that's exactly what you see with these bigger types of runs like XRP had back then. People just buy it for the sake of buying. Oh, hype. You know why a good chunk of this happened? You can say partially it was because of Korean exchanges having an inflated XRP price, but a huge part was because in all this time, people speculated, again, that Coinbase was going to list XRP. And Coinbase over this whole period had listed multiple coins, which got a huge ROI in a couple of days, a couple of hours even. So people speculating for XRP to be listed to it, got people really hyped up, got them going crazy. You know what happened on this exact day? Coinbase said, we are not thinking about listing XRP. And you know what happened that day too, or right around that day, I believe it was actually the day afterwards, is CoinMarketCap removed South Korean markets from their metrics to show the quote-unquote normal price, which is basically a lot of a lower price. And that got people completely afraid. They sold it like no freaking tomorrow because, again, you get afraid of that type of stuff. So Crypto Money says, every XP hater in here sucks at writing and logic, go away. To a certain degree, you're right. A lot of the people here, if you're really hating on XRP, I don't really see why, except for maybe the fact that Ripple themselves have so much. On a different idea, I don't really see any good reasons why XRP would be really bad. I've told you guys before, I think most crypto in this list have at least one or two things which they are extremely good at, or which deserves them a spot in this ranking. And I also believe that to a certain degree, we might even call all of this basically a test of XRP. What would that mean? Well, that it just depends on how you want to view the whole crypto ordeal. But you might call this XRP basically a pain test, what's happening to this right now. No crypto in this list right here has ever had a lawsuit like this because it's the first of its kind. You could call XRP basically the guinea pig for something bigger, as if XRP will survive this lawsuit, a lot of other cryptos will. And if XRP wins this lawsuit, it'll basically be the basis of which all other lawsuits are going to be built upon from here on forward. So, yeah, having that in the back of your head, they have to be one has to be the first. Yeah, it's XRP, okay. But that's also why it has some of these hurdles right now. If people knew how these crypto lawsuits would usually go, we would have a very clear overview on the price. But since we don't, we have no freaking clue. Yeah, all we can do is just wait it out and hope that all these dates are going to bring us something profitable, which, logically speaking, in my opinion, they should. Logically speaking, almost any of these dates should be huge for XRP. And I will buy, honestly, I will buy every god freaking time that XRP has another date like that going for them. Because this is not no speculational date. People say don't buy the news. All right, you don't do it, then I will. I will buy a couple of days, maybe even a week or so before any one of these dates because something positive can happen. And even though we can get a lot of crazy things happening in the meantime, just, not really according to these dates, those dates are important because, well, they've been kind of pinpointed as the date which something important will happen to. Again, this is not a proven science because the 15th was the date which the document would have come out, and it actually came out on I believe, January 26th or 27th. So it's not a proven thing, but you should consider. Now, one thing, I don't want to get too far into conspiracy, but one thing I want you guys to think about right now. Don't you think it's also a little bit strange that, we dipped to 17 cents. We actually went up with the market back then. Not really sure exactly what that happened. But right at around the time when the whole Wall Street bets thing kicked off, and people got really hyped up about all these cryptos, Ripple decided to release their document a couple weeks early. Because they should have actually done it about the 15th, that was their end date. They did it a couple weeks early, exactly when Elon Musk was tweeting about this Wall Street bet stuff and Dogecoin was going crazy and all this stuff was taken off. Isn't that a little bit odd to you guys at least? It sometimes makes you think about whether or not they really want some of this chaos, whether Ripple really wants all that's happening to it right now. Again, I'm not saying it's really what's happening, but it's something that I'm thinking about. By the way, Bitcoin is going pretty crazy. I'm seeing it on the side here right now. Oh, my days, guys. Every time I take a look at that, we're just breaking. So, if you were wondering, by the way, my last Bitcoin purchase was at about 44, 42, whatever. It's somewhere around this area where I actually last bought Bitcoin. Right now, I've just been watching, and there haven't been any good entries as we've kind of gone exponential. We've literally gone from our first that's a really wrong one. First kind of channel, basically, to a little bit more of this type of situation. We're going exponential. And I believe this is mostly due to Tesla coming in clutch. Everybody showing their freaking support for crypto. Let's quickly take a look at my my altcoins here. So I think I should actually take some profit on Ethereum right now, as I'm not too certain we'll actually close at my 7% target. These other ones, of course, have already closed, so I'm pretty happy with those. But Ethereum, it's still not closed. I'm thinking about ending it right now. I was thinking, man, $2,000 is going to be easy. And actually, no, I'm not going to close that because Bitcoin is pumping right now. Logical that altcoins are actually falling down a little bit again. Of course, in a couple of hours, it will most likely shift unless Bitcoin just pops off and goes to about 60,000 plus. That might be a little bit lackluster for alts, but it's coming, guys. Every single level has just been breached for Bitcoin. One of my most positive scenarios was 49,000 for Bitcoin while we were here in about January. That was, again, us talking about, that's, something that could happen at about 49,000. We've broken almost everything already right now. It's really, it's delicious to look at it. I'm always happy with that. Do you guys actually own more than XRP? Like, do you own more than one crypto? Let me ask you like that. Because I also see a lot of people say ZAP or XDC, this is the only coin. XRP is my only, blah, blah, blah. Do you own only one coin, or are you a little bit of a little bit more normal investor by owning multiple coins? Let me know about that. What do you guys have? Also, somebody says here the battle has just begun. John McNeil says that. It's the truth. I also believe the battle of all of this has just started. If you think this is the end of things, oh my days, are you wrong? We're not even far at all. Sorry guys, sorry that you might be thinking that the end is near. No. We're at the start of things. Ripple is at the start of things. We're at the first couple of years. You, ladies and gentlemen, you're all early in all of this. You are all ridiculously early, and you should be proud. Now I'm going to take a little moment here to quickly say, guys, if you see a Dusty BC commenting under YouTube, it is not me, it is a scammer, all right? I have a full team working on making the comment section clean, but you know how many fake comments I get a day? Over 8,000 a day. And of course, logically speaking, if you have to filter through it, it's almost impossible to get that through. As it's in intervals and on old videos and everything like that, it's very freaking hard. But just understand, I would never tell you to text a number. All right, so that's a fake. And if you see those guys, always put there, hey, this isn't the real Dusty, or hey, this is a scam or something like that, just so you can warn others of it. Please, guys, please do that. Somebody says Bitcoin broke 58,000. It's bound to. It's really around the corner right now. Oh, guys, if you take a look at this, though, it's always nice that you can just buy the dip. I didn't actually do it, but this would have been a nice freaking dip to buy even. Oh, if we had hindsight vision, we would all be freaking bazillionaires, of course. But damn, look at that. That looks freaking juicy, man. Oh, yeah, I'm always in awe that if only I could buy more. I think 58,000 has been hit, indeed. Let's go to the 5-minute whatever. So, yeah. 58,000 has been, I'm not sure if we actually hit that already. I think so. On some exchanges, we definitely hit it. This, however, is Bitstamp. We've definitely hit 58,000 on some of them, though. Mario Roy says, not a good idea to post your crypto holdings on YouTube. You can actually put what coins you have. That's fine. Nobody cares about that. But never put down below how many coins you have. That's definitely not smart. I wouldn't suggest you doing that. Somebody said, okay, let me not read that one out loud. That's a little bit crazy. Denny says, anyone know why Flare is popping off so much? Okay, we'll end it off here with Flare talk. So Flare is a cryptocurrency based upon XRP. One thing you should understand with Flare is it has a very, very nice future ahead of themselves with what they're building. Yet, if we're talking about real price, you shouldn't really think too highly of it. You should really be looking at about half a cent or so. If you can and you want to be safe and you have more money than only on bitrue, I really suggest my own friends, not you guys, because it's not financial advice, to sell Flare right now and buy it back cheap if you really want to have it for the future. Because on bitrue and on Geodis, people went on those platforms to have bitrue, to have Flare. And right now, there's only 0.01% of the Flare really out, which is not even real Flare, it's IOUs. So people are attaching a value to it, which is not real. It shouldn't be the real one. And, okay, oh my days. Flare is not out, guys. Flare does not yet exist. People say, why don't I see Flare? Flare does not exist yet. Flare does not exist. It will exist in a couple of months from now. There are only 2 exchanges which have made up a Flare lookalike, basically, which is an IOU, which means they made a Flare on their exchange and they gave it to you, which is an idea that, well, eventually they'll give you a real Flare in return for it. But it does not yet exist. It's not yet live. I get that comment so often. People saying, Dusty, why isn't Flare in my Coinbase? Dusty, why isn't Flare in my Binance? Flare, you guys get it now, huh? It's not there just quite yet. Please, it's not there. It's all a fantasy. It's all an idea. So spread your freaking word that it doesn't yet exist. It will be replaced by the actual coin, but that will only come out in a couple of months. And from that point on forward, we can really start to speculate about the price. 70 cents right now, it's really on the idea that Flare will be something. But we don't really know because it's not really live just quite yet. Right? So all the prices you're seeing with Flare right now are not the real Flare. It's not a scam. It's an IOU that really give you the Flare eventually. It's not a scam. It just doesn't really represent the eventual price. So you should quickly understand that it's not a good explanation of where the price will go to eventually. As long as you have that in la cabeza, in your head, then you're going to be fine. If you have in your head that the Flare price right now is most likely way higher than Flare, the other one, the real one, will actually ever get to, you're good. Do I hope Flare will reach 70 cents and stuff like that? Yeah. Should you expect it? No, you should expect half a cent because it is free money that every XRP holder is going to get. So the luckiest scenario for any holder would be right now if they had all their money, all their XRP on bitrue or geodis, and they got themselves some premium. Because right now selling Flare for 70 cents is a freaking gift. I only have, however, 80, I'm not sure, maybe it's like 50 or so Flare. So selling that at 70 cents right now, I don't even know if that's going to be worth it, because it's not really that much money in that sense. Maybe like, let's say $30. But if you have a lot of money and you had it on bitrue and you got all your Flare, I can really suggest a lot of people. No, I'm not going to say that. I shouldn't suggest because it's not financial advice. But I would tell people selling might be a very good choice, because 75 cents for Flare is just really ridiculously high. Dustin says, it's just his opinion. Let him talk shit. He'll kick himself one day. If you're talking about Flare, please, guys, please just be honest with yourself. Don't think I want you to lose money. Don't think I don't hope Flare is going to be big. You should think about the real things, right? So right now, only 0.0001 whatever percent of Flare has been out, which is again 15% of the whole, but then only a 0.001%, for example, of all the exchanges basically, because it's only bitrue. So from that perspective, if you, Paulo says you can't sell Flare yet. If you have the Flare, the IOU version, you can sell it. You can buy and sell it. So somebody else says the XP YouTubers who promoted XRP. Note that I'm never promoting XRP, right? I'm talking about it. Not promoting. It's not paid by Ripple. I've never been paid in a single XRP, so don't think about it that way, by the way. Little fun fact. I'm talking about Pi in just a second. Give me a second, Joseph. So the whole Flare thing, yeah, right now it's just bitrue, which is a very small portion, and it's just 15%. Logically speaking, as all other exchanges have Flare too, the whole amount of Flare in existence goes from, let's say, on a scale, from 1,000 to 1,000,000. So there's all of a sudden 1,000 times more Flare available, so of course it's less scarce, and there's also more holders that are not XRP-centric, as bitrue is an XRP-centric exchange. Think about it that way. That's one thing that's very important. But also, the fact that it's 15%, and as time goes on, it could actually be that the price also gets less because people just keep getting more money for free. And again, it's free money, guys. So if people attach 70 cents to it, hey, that's all cool. But is that thing you should be watching out for? I'm going to say no, all right? Again, honestly, my opinion. However, if we're talking XRP, my goal is still a couple dollars. If we're talking Flare and gold, I'm not saying your dollar prediction or something like that is stupid. I'm just saying from the get-go, right? When Flare drops, when it goes live on places like Binance and so, expect it to dump because a lot of these big guys, they don't care about Flare. We might do, okay, but a lot of these guys, they have some XRP or had some XRP back then, but they don't care about the coin. Quavelin says, it's not financial advice, wink, wink. Yeah, I should make that really clear. None of this stuff is financial advice, all right? Please. And then the last, okay, about Pi. Some of you guys were asking about that. I personally think it's just a referral type of scheme. There's no real backing into it based upon Stellar partially. Yeah, it doesn't really say too much. All right, Pi is definitely not a good thing from the fundamentals. It's really dumb even. It's just a referral type of scheme. And people are going hyping about it because, well, you can get, I think you can make money by referring people to it. But no, from the fundamentals, Pi is really stupid, in my opinion, once more. You're in my opinion about ADA, Polkadot, all freaking huge coins, guys. You know I'll hold them. You know I have them. You know I'm not going to sell them. I'm going to keep these. These are gems. VeChain is a freaking gem in my opinion. ADA is a freaking gem. Polkadot is a freaking gem. Binance coin is freaking overpriced, yet still, in a certain degree, it's kind of a gem as the Binance Smart Chain is getting a lot of popularity and it is attached to the most important, as of this point, exchange on the crypto webs. So yeah, you know, for a certain perspective, it's definitely a nice one to have. And yeah, guys, we're going to keep it at that. We've already been streaming for like an hour and a half almost, 1 hour and 17 minutes. Make sure you press the like button right now to help out the channel. It helps me out a ton, all right? With the YouTube algorithm, all these guys who press the like button, they help me out. So please do that for me if you can. All right, that's all good. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want more crypto updates. If there's anything you want to know, anything at all, just join the Discord. A link will be down below and ask. Or follow me over on Twitter and ask me. I try to reply to every freaking one, every person that I can, all right? But of course, there's too many people to look at every small question. Please don't ask me if I can buy XRP for you. I will not do that. But you know, just again, if you can press the like button, it would be very much appreciated. I appreciate it a ton. Make sure you subscribe if you want more daily crypto content. I post every single day. And make sure you join the Discord. I think it's going to be worth it. Or Twitter. And yeah, it's a pretty good day. Tomorrow, again, not going to be too good, I think. But hey, we might be surprised. That was it for today. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And cheers, everybody. Hey, Lemonhead. Welcome.